There is a certain framework to how you really create the agent. We went through it briefly, but I would like to show you a more sophisticated schema, and we'll include the link to this document in the description so that you can download it and use it yourself on your leisure for any business processes and any AI agents that you want. So let's go through the aspects of the agents. First of all, the trigger. It's either the time schedule, the user command, the KPI threshold breach, a new file email received, any system event. So you want to give the autonomy to the AI agents by saying, hey, I want this agent to launch whenever something happens without my intervention or me needing to be in front of the laptop and remembering about triggering this agent. I don't even need to have it in my calendar. It just runs under the bonnet as soon as the trigger event happens. Second is you describe the role and behavior of this agent. As you were able to see above, and I'm also including the links to the other videos where we're going through the AI agents responsible for particular areas of the company. These system instructions should be pretty long because they should reflect how exactly you want the work to be done by the AI agent. Next one is the workflow. So you describe what has to happen step by step. You give a very precise standard operating procedure to an AI agent. You give it the quality checks. So all kinds of policies, guidelines, and so on that you have formulated in your company will be great to add to an AI agent, either through the knowledge base feature or context management feature, tools access, where they can access the folder and read the ongoing files that are included there. So you can just maintain all the policies in one folder and upload the new ones, refresh them, and the AI agent being able to access that folder will have the access to the most up-to-date information. Then the tools, it's really something that gives AI agents, I call it like legs and arms for it to do its work, because it's able to then read the information from different systems, transform it, and write it back. And writing means being able to act, because your AI agent would be able to message people over corporate messengers or email, giving them, sending them, providing them with notifications, recommendations, reminders, and so on. They would be able to create tasks in the external systems, so be it the task management system or the ability to launch the business processes execution on different ERP softwares. And then another important aspect of the run of the AI agents is the auditability. So you need to have a dashboard to understand what has happened, how the agents did run, and what happened. And most of the platforms give that functionality out of the box. So I love Relevance AI. It's one of my favorite ones. Microsoft Copilot Studio is similar. N8N is doing something similar. SAP Joule has the same functionality, because monitoring and evaluation is extremely important area for the evolution of the AI agents for your business. You can see how this is arranged in one of our AI agents that is responsible for the 100% automation of the social media marketing. I am walking through it in detail in my other videos. And again, I'm including the link to it. The AI creation and rollout process has the phases to it. So phase one is you describe a user persona. So who exactly is going to use an AI agent, or what is responsible for it. If it is interfacing with humans, you need to assess what is their level of technical comfort, what is their typical form factor, like whether they are interacting on mobile, on desktop, or any other devices. Sometimes we see the need to integrate the AI agents into the kiosks and stuff like that. Secondly, the second phase is the framework for the creation, for the setup description of the agent. We particularly love the one we called React agent, which stands for role, expertise, actions, constraints, and tone. Then the integration of an agent, where you plug it into the tools, into your corporate environment. So it has to be most probably emails, your document server, and then your ERP systems. The phase 4 is testing of the agent. Then you do the rollout of it and the monitoring. Now, some practical tips are that you want to focus on the phase 1 and phase 2 before you go to the phase 3, because the integration and all the further processes are pretty time consuming. So you want to prove the ROI and the feasibility of the agent on the very first two phases. What you can do for the phase two, because you will need data, the input data, in order to assess how well it performs its job, is you can upload the data statically. So if you have the policies, if you have the sample input, you will just download them from your external systems and you will upload it into the agent. And then when you've proven the feasibility and the value of it, you will get into the full-fledged integration, testing, the rollout, and monitoring of the agents in the live environment. I want to get to a very practical question that we always get at our workshops at this point, and this is, okay, so let's try to map out the use cases that are relevant and suitable for the AI agents. And there are a few criteria that you can use in order to identify those. First of all would be the repetitiveness. You want to take care of the actions or the workflows, tasks that require the most of the work, or where the most of the delay is happening. So if somebody is like, oh, I want to create an agent that does this report for me, I will ask them, well, how often are you generating this report? And if their answer is like, oh, I do it on a quarterly basis, it's not a good fit for an agent. At least it's not your first priority. You definitely have these day-to-day tasks that you so far think AI can't do. It's only like human feasible work. But in most cases, when we work with professionals on our workshops, we get to show them and we break down together how an AI agent can assist them in this work by automating it. So think of something that you do on the daily basis. Do you post on a daily basis? Do you have to reconcile the accounts on a daily basis? Do you have to do the ongoing audit of the activities, compliance, check, and so on the daily basis, on the flight? Maybe you want to do this. Maybe your internal audit is happening like every quarter, but how cool would that be if your internal audit would run like every day? Because now you can speed up your internal auditor capability with the AI by 100x, like really offload it on AI to extract all the tasks, everything that has been done, and all the numbers, and do the checks every single day. Next category of the areas and cases is the rule-based clarity. So if something is in a way that you can describe it and formalize, if you can put on paper how exactly you're making these decisions, then these are the good candidates for the AI agents. Next is the ones that are related with data intensity. So it requires the processing of a lot of data. For example, you're putting dozens of RFPs per month, and you have to bring in all the proposals, categorize them, extract information, compare, raise flags, and so on. So this is a pretty data intense job. And sometimes details can be omitted throughout the process. That is where you can offload it to an agent. An agent will do this significant part of the work for you. The next one is the value of speed and scale. If something has to happen right away and humans just have delays because they are naturally focused on many different tasks, they are backlogged, you can offload this to the agents and do the processing of the information as soon as that information becomes available, or as soon as you capture a certain event that has to be processed. Where does this apply the most? Well, financial markets, liquid markets for sure. Once the news is out, once the price movement or any other indicator is out there, you want to capture it and act as soon as possible. And lastly, one of the criteria is that this use case has to have low emotional or strategic context. So you don't want to delegate the tasks that require human emotional intelligence, for example, that has a lot of ethical minute similarities to it and so on, to the agent, because we're just not there yet with the AI. And maybe that's just something that we have to leave to ourselves, the humans. That's just what it is. So when we typically do the workshops with companies, we go through every department. As you can see here, we are covering GRC and legal, internal audit, human resources, growth. We then go into the use cases within sales and distribution. Sales is one of my favorite areas. I just naturally love sales and marketing. Operations, agriculture. This one was based on the agriculture company example. Marketing and development. And every single department in the company. Moving on, we have reviewed the autonomy with the agents and the automations, and now is the time to look at the business from the very holistic autonomy perspective. And what I mean here and what we are going to discuss are the AI native business models and AI native fulfillment and extremely lean back office. So entirely new models of the companies that will unfold in the future. We are talking 12 to 24 months from now, but that is going to happen as the AI systems evolve. We are going to see the automations and the application of AI on multiple levels of the cognitive hierarchy of the enterprise. So the enterprise exists on different levels. One is the technical, so that's the level where the work happens. It's all about the agents, bots, and automated execution of the work. And then we have the operational level where procedures, policies, and workflows live, where the KPIs and statistics and business analysis tools are available. And on this level, you're defining and redefining, so evolving your procedures, policies, and workflows in order to improve the actual execution of work at the technical level. But then moving up the hierarchy, you have the strategic level where the goal setting, analysis, and correction is happening. And so that's the level where AI will be useful for modeling and game theory and the general overlook of the operational layer of the company. And so aligning the policies, standard operating procedures, checklists, and so on with the strategy that the company has elected or amended based on the market situation where it decides to move and so on. And then the super strategic level is the evolution of the organization in relevance to the global shifts that are happening. And we are talking the horizons of 2 to 5 to 10 years, evolution of the entirely new business models and so on. I really think we are not even close to it with the current development of artificial intelligence. But give us 2 to 5 years and we will see the systems that can manage the entire workflows, the entire organizational principles that can really take the market opportunity and then unfold it into the entire business model and business process map and then execute. So implement this business process map so that AI agents can run every piece of the business process on their own or with the minimal involvement of the humans. I believe that is what is going to happen in 2 to 5 years from now. You want to measure everything on every of these layers, and you want to maintain the practicality and pragmatism in terms of the economical impact of your AI initiatives. And I know that numbers is extremely important here. That's why we have come up with our own framework called Model for AI Ascension, or Maya in short. And a part of this model is the dashboard where we are measuring where a company is on every of the levels, all the way from the tactical level, which we call the planetary ground, all the way to the super strategic level. And then within this framework, what we tend to do, and I highly encourage you to do the same, I'll include the template of the spreadsheet that we use for this ranking, is you can range the AI use cases per different criteria, and so very quickly see what are the quick wins for your company, what are the use cases for the strategic growth, what are the use cases that seem like the lowest hanging fruit, and what are the ones that you should avoid by all means. And the key criteria that we use to build this matrix is the ROI, so the higher ROI, the better, and then simplicity, because in the era where AI is something new, we want to prioritize the simplicity of the implementation. And so the use cases that have the highest ROI and are the simplest to implement are the ones that we would recommend taking care of in the very first place. And then you take care of the lowest hanging fruit, which maybe have lower ROI but are still simpler to implement. So that's your ground for continuous evolution of your AI native culture and DNA in the company, and then move on to the strategic growth quadrant here. And so avoid bottom left quadrant by all means. All right, so we have went through the entire artificial intelligence progression path in the business environment. One last phase that we are not covering here is the advanced AI technology, which is only relevant for people who are willing to dedicate their professional life to the AI technology itself, to the deep tech, to getting to understand, to working on the large language models, transformers, architectures, the compute level, data centers set up and operations, and so on and so forth. But all in all, like this presentation has been but all in all, what we went through in this presentation is everything that a business owner or a business operator who wants to get their company to next level in terms of the productivity, optimization, bottom line efficiency, and so on in 2026 and on with the use of artificial intelligence. This is all you need. And this helps you understand where you start today, where you are today, and where you can get and how exactly to get there through the practical roadmap. I thank you for your attention. I know it's been quite a long workshop, but again, we just tried to include everything that was possible. We've read this workshop to more than 500 attendees throughout the year, have consulted multiple businesses, and thought, hey, this knowledge should be available to as many business operators and owners as possible. Knowledge is one thing, but implementing it and saying, hey, I got this done is something different. And I would like to support you along the way. So if you need help and you need the mutual accountability, you want to ask questions and have someone to assist you along the way, give you the advice and so on, I highly encourage you to join our community. It's free of charge. We also run workshops, marathons, and annual programs for business owners, operators, and professionals who want to get from where they are today to complete AI proficiency and maximum optimization of their business in 2026. So I wish you good luck. You'll find all the links below, the link to the community, the link to our workshops, to the free materials that are relevant to this video that you have watched today. And with that, best of luck. Till next time.